Hey, it's me, Michael Kosta. How you doing? It's the Tennis Anyone pod. Trying to get my framing right for YouTube. It is Wednesday, March 26th. Thank you, everybody, for reaching out, for sending me pictures of your dogs, reading my book with your cats. We're selling it. It's actually selling. It's doing well. Thank you. And it's not just about selling the book. I said this many times. For those of you on YouTube watching, you can see here, right? I worked my ass off on this thing, and I love it. I tried to write a funny book that snuck in a few life messages. And the fact that, of course, you want to sell books, of course. But, I mean, the fact that people are enjoying it and connecting makes me very, very happy. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to my old teammates who've reached out. Carrie Franklin, Jeff Lasky. Jeff sent me such a nice text last night. Jeff is in the book a lot. What pages? What chapter is he? Red Clay in Amsterdam, chapter 10. DTF, chapter 11. Chapter 12. Americans in Paris. Chapter 13, Red Ledger. So, Jeff Lasky's in this book a lot. He's bought copies for his friends, and I guess I expected the people that were in the book to enjoy it because it's a happy look back. But I also am getting messages from people that I don't know. So thank you. Thank you. The audiobook is available as well. I read the audiobook, and thank you for buying it. I just really appreciate it. It's available everywhere. It's my story. And the only complaints I've been getting are, well, how did you get to the Daily Show, which is not in this book? And then the other complaints I've been getting from some reviews is like, hey, I found some typos. Yeah, that pisses me off too. And I can't believe I missed them, and the copy editor missed them, and the publisher missed them. But from what I understand, every single book on earth has a typo in it, and it sucks because you want it to be perfect. But if we buy enough of these books, we'll get a second printing, and then we'll fix the first typos. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming out to an amazing event in West Palm Beach. I felt like a rich person for a weekend, brought my whole family. We stayed at the Breakers Hotel, which is a place I would never stay at in my life because it's so expensive. It was fucking awesome. You check in and there's like teddy bears in the hotel room for your kids. Unbelievable. We opened up their grass tennis. They had a $12 million tennis facility, renovation, 2 grass courts. Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf showed up to play against Andy Roddick and Kim Clijsters. I am safe to say slowly am developing a friendship with Andy Roddick, and it makes me happy. I don't know how he feels about it, but it makes me happy. And then, of course, while I was like pseudo hanging with him, the Nothing Major guys posted a clip where I say that Andy Roddick is going to be depressed in a few years. So, of course, Jack Sock, John Isner, Stevie Johnson, and Sam Querrey tried to undermine this developing male friendship that is in the budding stages. Now, Andre Agassi, who I hung out with twice in the last 2 months, can't really say our friendship's crushing. It's going to be a little tougher. And Kim Clijsters, by far, just what a kind, sweet person. She met my kids. She's just great. And a few things that were interesting to remember. Kim Clijsters won a Grand Slam and then left the sport to start a family and came back and won 3 more Grand Slams. I mean, that's wild. That is wild. Here's another wild thing to remember about Kim Clijsters. She was the number 1 singles player in the world, and also, I don't even know if it was the same time, it might have been, also became the number 1 doubles player in the world. That is wild. That is wild. Steffi Graf is the only person on earth to have won all Grand Slams in the same year and then win the Olympic gold medal. Now, I had an opportunity to at this event, which we were raising money for First Serve. Ladies and gentlemen, Google that, donate to that. It helps underprivileged kids that need the help through tennis, through education, through tutoring, through after school. First Serve is an amazing organization, and it's something that I've been associated with ever since Kevin Anderson and his wife, Kelsey Anderson, have invited me to their event to help raise money for First Serve. So I've been coming to this for 5 or 6 years. I've seen a lot of different iterations. I've seen it done on a shoestring budget at a tennis club that they were playing at in its initial phases. And I've seen it done this way, where they invite Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf in, and it seems like it cost $1 million. And I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter what the event looks like. The money goes to people that need it. And that's great. There's also this really fun push and pull in Palm Beach, in the West Palm Beach area, of all these super rich people who have so much money you can't even fathom. And they donate to charity as a way to like counter their conscience or something. And as we were discussing on the flight home, hey, I'd rather be sickly rich and realize I'm sickly rich and every once in a while donate money. But it is an interesting commentary that you feel like you have so much you don't even know what to do. And I truly say this in an authentic way. I hope it comes out this way. That's kind of how I feel, but not with money. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like I have such embarrassment of riches when it comes to life, job, family, friendships. Could always do better with friendships. Blessings, to use a word that usually frustrates me, but and I hope you feel that way too. And I want you also to know this, everybody: the people that are super rich financially, they kind of fucking suck a lot of times. There are so many wonderful people in Palm Beach, but there's always like 5 or 6 that are so grossly wealthy that you're like, ugh, you know? There was a lot of men, it looked like, and women, but I saw more men. It looked like their plastic surgeon took a key, implanted it in the back of their skull, and then twisted the key so all the skin on the front of the face gets like this. Here, those on YouTube are seeing this. Hi, I invented the Learjet, and I'm 88 years old, and my girlfriend has huge, perfect, fake tits. Okay, dude. So anyways, thank you to First Serve. Thank you for the Breakers for a wonderful weekend. And it is funny. It is funny. The first thing I said on stage was, I live in Brooklyn. People take the bus to work every day. I'm reading about a recession that's imminent. I'm reading about tariffs affecting the cost of Americans' lives by at least $2,000 a year. And then I come here, and it's like you just put $12 million into grass tennis courts? I mean, it's wild. It's wild, the money that does exist in the world. I don't like my angle. What's happening here? Go higher than that? Should I go higher? There we go. That's better. Why didn't you guys tell me? We'll get into Miami results. I got both draws right here. You know, I kind of always, when Miami starts, I'm always like, I miss Indian Wells. Then it gets going and you kind of forget about Indian Wells, right? Just right back into it. The semifinals for the women has already been decided. Wow, Sabalenka and Paulini. And what's this? Emma Raducanu in the quarterfinals? Wow. Other quarterfinal is Swiatek versus, what the fuck is this? 140 in the world from the Philippines.
My name is Alexandra Iyala.
Alexandra Iyala, 5'9", 19 years old, plays left-handed. Wow. Great result, Alexandra Iyala. She's not there. She's in the quarterfinals. So we've got a Sabalenka Paulini semifinal. By the way, I went to see Paulini play at Indian Wells, and I've interviewed her before on Tennis Channel. Excellent excellent, excellent personality. She was like laughing and trying really hard to keep up with me in my language, which was not her native language. She really is small, like it's like when you go see Diego Schwartzman, you're like, oh, he's small. Like it's not like TV makes him small. She's small. Unbelievable how good she is at tennis and how many results she gets being that small. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Sabalenka beat Zhang in the quarterfinals. Lynette lost to Paulini in the quarterfinals. Another great interview. Raducanu plays Pegula today in the quarterfinal. Wow. That's great. Great, 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 great. Men, draw. What do we got? Quarters? Quarters are not yet. Yes, they are. Quarters, we got Fritz versus Berrettini. Nice to see Matteo slowly climbing back from his injury. We got Kosta Djokovic, which I love. By the way, I want to see this head-to-head Djokovic. They've played one time. Djokovic won in Adelaide in the final. Djokovic beat him 6-4 in the third, 6-7, 8 in the breaker, 7-6, 6-4. The reason I immediately Googled that is I was like, Kosta has a nice game to take out Novak Djokovic. Big offense. And he's playing decent because I came home yesterday from Toronto where we were interviewing an American who fled America when Trump won and also interviewed a Canadian who wishes he was American. Isn't that just perfect? Isn't that just perfect Daily Show fodder? Kosta lost the first set to Monfils and then, Kosta won the first set, lost the second, won the third. I always just envision Kosta not being a tough guy, right? Nice guy. And his dad's a champion and his sister's a champion. And by the way, Sebastian Kosta is a champion. He's not a Grand Slam champion yet, but he knows how to win. But I just don't see him as a tough guy. And maybe I was surprised yesterday watching Monfils win the second set. I thought he was going to do like the tennis brat collapse thing, and he toughed it out and he won. So nice work there. The other quarterfinal, Zverev Fils. They're playing. Okay, so the other quarterfinal is versus Mensik. Who the fuck is Mensik? Jakub Mensik. Jakub Mensik, 54 in the world, from Czech. And it looks like in his ATP picture, he's wearing two shirts. Like he's wearing like a short sleeve shirt and then a vest over that. Take it easy, bro. And Jakub Mensik will play the winner of Zverev and Fils. The one viral tennis clip that's been going around was Fils cracking his racket. I was able to reconnect in Palm Beach with an old tennis player, competitor of mine, Brendan Hawk, who played at Texas. We played in the juniors. He beat me in a close match in the juniors, but really took off after the juniors, played at Texas, won a round at the U.S. Open at age 17, doubles with Nathan Overhoser, another name from the past from Michigan tennis. Reconnected with him. He's doing some, is it executive coaching? Is that, it's, by the way, whenever someone tells me to do executive coaching, I always roll my eyes like this sounds like bullshit. But then you get talking with Brendan Hawk and it seems legit, if that makes sense. And you see some of what things he's posting and I connected with it. He posted something cool about the reaction Fils had to cracking his racket. And I've talked about it on this podcast before, and it comes from someone that used to coach me. I don't know if he came up with it or if it came from Vic Braden, but Steve Smith used to say, as did my old coach Craig Tiley, you want to have a high negative response, not low negative. So you're going to be mad. You're going to be furious. So let that negative emotion come out quickly and powerfully, and then it's gone. As opposed to low negative where you're sulky and shitty and mopey for a long period of time. Be pissed, get it out, crack the racket, and then it's done, right? And Brendan Hawk posted about how Fils did that with his racket cracking. It's very easy to see that, be mad, as a tennis fan. Why did he do that? But if you think about it from the standpoint of he's frustrated, he made a mistake, or he's frustrated that things didn't go the way he wanted, let it out, clean the slate, boom, done. Now, not everybody can crack a racket, a $300 racket, and just, grab another one and go. But I did like Brandon Hawk's take on that. And it was fun to reconnect with him. And, that's what's fun about diving back into the tennis world. It's like, I'm always so thankful that I'm in the comedy world. Tennis is this insulated, weird, incestual space where everyone knows everyone, but I'm not there anymore. So for me to jump back into tennis is fun. I reconnect with a guy I lost to at Zonals in Nashville when I was 12. Might have been Fort Lauderdale. That was cool. I was in Canada because there's a guy there named Steven. I'll give him a shout out. Steven Shainbart book. There it is. He's a therapist. And he wrote a book. And the book is called I Actually Did It, Becoming Canadian Because of Trump. He's trying to sell books just like everybody. And he did actually do it. When Trump won in 2016, so many people said, I'm moving to Canada. Well, this motherfucker did it. And we found him. He's living in Toronto. Very kind guy. Has family history. I think his grandfather might have died at Auschwitz, was killed at Auschwitz. Really feels like the younger generation is forgetting, not understanding the reality of authoritarian rule. He was very clear not to call Trump Hitler, but was also very clear to say these things do spiral out of control. And I do think that's an interesting point. I'm very loosely educated on World War I, World War II. I'm not going to pretend to know the answers, but, this shit does happen. People do take over and then take over the next country, and then it's easily justified, or that's not a big deal, or that was kind of ours anyways. And it is important. You hate to think we have to keep remembering these lessons, but it is important to remember the lesson. We have seen this before. I'm loosely talking about Trump. I'm talking about Putin. And he left America and is slowly becoming Canadian citizen because of Donald Trump, and is pushing a book that shares that. And it was really interesting to talk to him. And it is very fun to talk to an American that really is so fed up that he's fucking, I'm out. Then, classic Daily Show, we go and talk to a Canadian who's like, fuck this, I want to become American. I want to become the 51st state. So, interesting to get different perspectives. I think if you are flirting with the idea of leaving the United States because of Donald Trump or because of this idiotic regime, and let's just talk about this fucking text for a second. What a bunch of dumb idiots. What are you doing? You're texting about airstrikes? Like, it's what a bunch of fucking idiots. Look, I've texted stupid shit too. I've been on dumb group messages before too. Signal is what I always thought drug dealers used because it's encrypted. And thank you, Pete Buttigieg, for finally coming out. Like, the Dems leaders that are legit, AOC, I think, say what you want about her. She's a bulldog. I think she's effective with her communication style. I don't agree with everything, but I'm saying her people love her, and she communicates, and she doesn't back down. Pete Buttigieg, I love, you know me, he's gay. I love Pete Buttigieg. He should be sounding off more often. Step up. When the Republicans make a mistake, step up. Go big. What's the Onion headline that was hilarious? Democrats let huge Republican mistakes slip through their fingers. What a fucking surprise. But Here's my take on the Pete Hegseth group text. These guys are not exceptional. They're not experts. They're not wizards. They don't play 3D chess. They're just dumb idiots, just like me and you. Okay? I'm not saying they're idiots. I'm saying they're the same as us. Okay? And we're idiots. So yes, they're idiots. That's what I'm saying. Type that out and read it and see if I just spoke in circles. But, oh, he really knows what they're doing. Oh, Trump's got him. He's figured it out. No, he's just like us. Okay? And Biden's people were like this too. They were humans, and they're not exceptional, but the other side, the Biden team, they at least care for public service and have dedicated their life to public service, in my opinion. But these guys adding a journalist to a text where they're doing fist in American flag emojis, it's fucking embarrassing, man. God, it's so annoying how just childish this whole thing is. If you don't think this is going to have repercussions, like militarily, from the people that were victims and died from this shit, and they're like texting fists and American flag and fire emojis, it's sad. It's sad. I just kept thinking about Obama, like watching SEAL Team 6 in the room, it was all like, obviously all we ever saw was a photograph because they actually chose to communicate with encrypted shit and not attach a journalist to it and probably approve all pictures. The other thing that's so wild when you really read the text message thread is just how much everything is optics, right? I'm worried about the way this looks, about the way it's all optics. So yes, that is, I also wonder, it would be very interesting, Trump, if you just admitted a little bit of a mistake. Like that's never been their strategy. But what is wrong with a man saying, that was a mistake and we won't do it again? I just think that is okay, as opposed to discrediting the journalist, bitching about how they're out to get me. Like, yes, we screwed up. What's wrong with that? We made a mistake. It won't happen again. We're thankful that the free press of America did its job. We'll do better next time. Boom. I love that. I love when a man or a woman does that. They won't. Had a great time in Toronto. Really happy with that city. It was gray and windy and weather sucked, but I had a wonderful meal at an Egyptian restaurant. By the way, I'll be in Toronto April 18th and 19th. I'll be in Boston April 4th. I'll be doing a book signing at the Harvard Bookstore April 5th. A lot of good stuff coming up for your boy Kosta. I'm doing a small theater in Newtown, Connecticut. All dates are at michaelcosta.com. For those of you, the last book signing I'm doing is April 5th, Harvard Bookstore. Look it up. Come say hi. Buy a book. I'll sign it. I'll personalize it. We'll take pics. I want to thank the Barnes & Noble in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida this weekend for having me. A bunch of people showed up. We took pics. We signed books. It was a lot of fun. I did a reading. I read a chapter. It was really a lot of fun. So the next one of those will be at the Harvard Bookstore April 5th, if you are so interested. The audiobook is available on Spotify. You can also buy it everywhere, and that's exciting. I'll be hosting the Daily Show next week. I've got some great guests. I have a woman who climbed Mount Everest. I have a woman who wrote a book about the death penalty in the United States. I have an actor from White Lotus. Oh my God, my wife sent me the Sam Rockwell monologue about Asian women. That is so good, dude. That is such a thought-provoking, wonderful piece of dark, beautiful, kinky, uncomfortable, yet satiating dialogue. The Sam Rockwell monologue about Asian women. I mean, it's not appropriately titled about Asian women. It's Asian women are the focus of the monologue, but that almost sounds like it's hard to describe, but it's wonderfully, beautifully written, acted, shot. The other actor in the scene, Goggins, was really great at listening. And, you know, from an acting standpoint, watching, is it Walter Goggins? Is that his name? My dog's Walter Goggins. Yeah, Walton Goggins. It's a great scene to watch when you don't have dialogue, but you are acting and listening. It's great. Great. Sam Rockwell monologue about Asian women. I gotta catch up on White Lotus. There's another piece that's out right now about preppers that I did called Michael Kosta Fortitude Ranch. What's it called? It's called Survive the Apocalypse in Luxury at the Doomsday Prepper Ranch. Survive the Apocalypse in Luxury at this Doomsday Prepper Ranch. You could also just Google Michael Kosta Fortitude Ranch. It'll show up. It's a funny piece, thought-provoking. This guy sells timeshares in ranches when the total collapse of society happens. But check it out. I think you'll have some good laughs, and we should all probably be a little bit more prepared for the collapse to happen. Like, I'm just talking about like solar-powered batteries and granola bars and shit. Cash, maybe. Cash? You have cash? Check. Dates. Check. If you want to see some cool pictures of Andre Agassi, Steffi Graf, Andy Roddick, Kim Clashes, and ya boy, check out my Instagram at Michael Kosta. It's fun. Thank you to First Serve again. It's a great cause to give money to. They're really helping a lot of different people, which is very, very cool. What else? Miami results. We went over those, right? Sabalenka beat Zhang. Sabalenka Paulina versus Swiatek Iala or Pegula Raducanu. Happy to see Raducanu doing well. The sport, you know, it would be good for her to continue to do well. I'm not saying she's the most engaging personality on tour. Men, we got a round of 16. No, quarterfinals. Zverev or Fils versus Mensik. Fritz Berrettini. Korda Djokovic. Cerundolo versus Dimitrov. God, Cerundolo is such a beast. Fucking love watching that guy. I should get him on the show. Still working on Barbara Krejcikova. Still work. Where's she? Where's she been? Is she injured? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tennis Anyone podcast. Can you believe these idiots put a journalist in their group text? But also, yes, I can. They're not special. Trump just appointed loyalists, not experts. We're going to see more of this shit. We're going to see more mistakes. Government isn't supposed to make headlines. They're supposed to just exist and help us and support us. And it's embarrassing when it's like when you bring your kid to a party and it's like an adult party, but all of a sudden the kid breaks the table and all the appetizers and hors d'oeuvres fall over. The kid isn't supposed to be the story. It's supposed to be you're there for the adults, celebrating the adults. But Trump is the kid himself, or he brought kids to the party and now they're becoming the headline. I mean, the other idea, and this is what they'll do next. They'll say that somebody infiltrated and added the journalist on purpose and it was the Dems or Antifa or whatever. They'll attack. But real men will say sometimes, we made a mistake and we fixed it. That to me is what real men do. I heard a very interesting theory about Trump that he was abused as a child. And that would explain a lot. And you can't, who knows? But that would explain the incessant attacking others. Hurt people hurt people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy Tennis Anyone podcast, leave a re-rating and a review. You can buy Lucky Loser anywhere. Please read it. Oh my God, I worked so hard on it. There's some great pictures in here. Look at this picture. Look at this fucking picture. Look at this handsome boy. Huh? Booyah, in a suit. Thank you to everyone who's read it and reached out and passed the book on to their friend. I appreciate you so much. All dates are at michaelkosta.com. Game, set, match. Kosta, aggressive swing, safe targets.